Hey everyone, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Although I am a licensed clinician, I'm also just a person. I love to be able to be in my real life and speak from that point. And that's where this podcast is coming from. So enjoy.
Searching for truth, looking for answers. There must be a way to another day.
Hey everyone, it's Aaliyah here again.
And Joe.
Hi, we are the Convenient Truth. So happy Sunday. We just had an amazing morning.
Yep, we went to the farm.
We went to the farm. This is our life now, guys. We went to the farm. We did a whole hay ride on this beautiful farm and a tractor ride.
It's actually very nice. What was it called? Simmons?
It's Simmons Organic Farms, which is in Middletown, Rhode Island, and it's actually really, really beautiful. So we went there, had a blast, saw the goats and pigs, cows.
Yep, pet all the goats.
Fed them. I mean, it was really great. I loved it.
Yeah, the view was nice because it's a farm by the water.
View is like beautiful. The view is
like
gorgeous.
up on a hill. Yeah, super nice.
Yeah, for sure. Then we left and then went to my favorite place,
Main Street Coffee for coconut hot chocolate.
Hot cocoa.
What?
It's the most amazing hot cocoa you will ever have in your whole entire life. I'm a hot cocoa fanatic, connoisseur, some may say. And this one actually, Joe likes to add coconut syrup.
Well, since we quit coffee, we discovered this because I used to get the coconut lattes, right? And it's basically the same thing minus the coffee.
My God. I mean, if you love chocolate or like you're a sugar addict like I am, fuck. It's just like...
She wants to have like 5 of them a day.
I would literally have, like, this is a tall one. I would still drink another one after this. The only reason why I don't is because he shames me. He shames me. You shame me. And then you make it seem like I'm this, like, gross person that wants to have another tall, hot chocolate.
It's about too much sugar intake is the problem, you know? That's...
Oh, man.
I, like, literally count her sugar every day.
I mean, no, like, it's really, like, something else. I'm like, can I just live my fucking life? Like, we'll just be, like, a good day, and you'll be like, you had 20 grams there, and then you had 10 grams. Oh, now you're over. You went well over what you're supposed to have. I'll still have, like, 8 hours in the day left.
I'm saving your life here is what I'm doing. Because there's a lot of, you're always talking about inflammation and all this other stuff, and I'm like, okay, well, then stop eating sugar.
Guys, don't we all have that one thing?
But if the one thing is causing the main, like, illness in your life...
First of all, it has not been proven that sugar is actually... Now, sugar
It is proven. It is proven that
it contributes to inflammation, yes. But that it's the main thing...
So what's the main thing, then?
No one knows.
Oh, couldn't possibly be... You wouldn't even know if it was sugar because you'd never cut sugar out of your life, so...
I've cut alcohol,
I don't know.
Minus the espresso martini we've had. But basically quit alcohol. I don't drink. I quit cigarettes. That was a big thing. I used to be a huge cigarette smoker. Loved smoking cigarettes. Loved being the person drinking whiskey, smoking cigarettes in the bar.
See, this is what you always do, though. You compare yourself from who you were 3 years ago.
How else do people compare themselves?
To the past year. Like, you haven't done any of those things in 2 years now. So, okay, move on to the next one. All right, what were you like last year?
What I am now.
Yeah, exactly. But you're still having the issues, so maybe there's other things you can do.
Last year, actually, I was probably a little... Soul messed me up. That's what it was.
Yeah, it's ever since Soul. I agree with that.
Ever since Soul. Ever since I got pregnant, it threw everything off.
Yeah, and then you go back on the medication.
It was I mean, it's pregnancy.
Although right now... Just when we first moved, you were feeling a lot better, and then you said you were going to stick to some regimen, which you haven't really done that.
What was the regimen?
The original regimen of what's it called? With your nutritionist set you up with, like eating like no raw vegetables.
Oh, that's because I was crazy inflamed. Remember,
Right.
Things
But
went
then
down.
you got it back to normal.
I was eating
and you
hard-boiled
weren't,
eggs
and you
with
weren't
salmon
on your
and
medication
avocado.
because you hadn't got the new prescription because we moved.
I ran out of the meds.
But you were fine. But you
I
then
wasn't
finally
fine.
you were a lot better.
I wasn't fine. I was inflamed. That's why I stopped, and I was eating the hard-boiled eggs with salmon and avocado the whole entire
But
time.
all that, what I'm saying is that started to work, and then you got back on the medication because, for no reason, you just were like, well, just in case.
I was scared.
Right, and that's where we are now.
It was fear-based.
So now, exactly like I said, you feel great, but you're on the medication, so then you take more chances. If you don't take the medication, you won't be as risky, and you'll actually listen to what I'm saying with the sugars and all this other stuff, because you know that if you you got a wiggle room with the medication.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, I didn't mean for this to get into like a
Slamming session. We slammed. I'm so sick of being slammed, man. I get slammed.
with truth.
I get slammed on a daily. God, Aaliyah, you're kissing our daughter too much. Aaliyah, I swear to God, guys, I swear to God, Aaliyah, you're saying yes to her too much. Aaliyah, it's like I can't live my fucking life.
Listen, Aaliyah, what's the name of this our podcast?
Oh my God.
Anyways.
Ridiculous. Does anyone have... So my mom is staying with us, right? Until I don't know when. But we've noticed throughout her staying with us that all she does is gossip. And I'm wondering if anybody else has like mother-in-laws or just parents, right? Who are like... My mom's like about to be 70. So who are like, a little up there, but not that much, but up there. Who, if you find that they gossip a lot, because she can spend the whole day on the phone.
Talking about other people.
That's it. That's all she does. Talk about others all day long.
But I mean, that's not like a... people do that. Like, 'cause that's a thing. That's how people communicate, I guess. I don't
really think it's... I mean,
I think it's like a more of like an up north thing.
Well, and then it's like the conversations are filled with so much like, it's serious, It's like, and I told her, it's like really like, it's like really fucking into this shit. It's wild,
What else?
Oh, update animals.
Animals?
I want to update them on this dim animal situation that we've had.
God.
So, of course, I took the reins on this because Joe... I don't know. I feel like you take forever just to do something. And so I'm like, we got to do it. Let's do it now. So we had an issue. Possums, which is what we thought or whatever. I don't know. We set up a mouse trap. Oh, there was a mouse in there. Disgusting. Joe refused to get the mouse because he didn't want to touch it. I don't know.
That's not my job because we hired a company.
It's not his job. He thought that Terminex would do that, whatever. So then we left the dead mouse there in the trap for like 3-4 days until Terminex came, right? Plus we had flies. In the midst of this, we called Terminex. Actually, I called Terminex and realized and find out that so flies like to lay their eggs on dead mice. And then that turns out to be more, or their lava. What is it? How do you explain it?
I don't know.
Anyway,
but
whenever you got so if you have flies that basically just like come in like
I didn't know where there's a bunch of them,
massive amounts, and you're killing like
then they go away after like a couple
days. It's like a fucking fly massacre, legit.
You probably got a dead mouse.
And then suddenly for a week you're like, oh my God, the flies are gone, and then they come back. There's something dead in your wall. There's a dead mouse, something. So then I freak out because now I'm like, I can't live like this. Who lives like this? So. Well, I guess people do live like this, but
most people up in New England live like this, I think.
I know, and I didn't mean to say it that way, but it's like I think I guess I'm coming off as super spoiled. I guess I don't know what it is, but I lived in New York. I think it's
ignorant. You just were not aware of all this.
I actually have been ignorant to this then.
Right.
I don't know what it's like to live out here.
You've been living in rent places where they just take care of it. You don't know behind the scenes shit.
I don't know what's going on. I'm living my life. And then it's like, whoa, So anyway, Terminex comes. And when I tell you guys that the mouse police came, I mean, the mice police showed up, right? Was he not? He was dressed in a whole vest and everything.
Oh yeah, he looked like military.
He looked like he was military, you guys. He was not fucking around.
Yeah.
And the minute he came downstairs into the bottom, like the basement, he walked into the closet area where like the fuse box is. Shit you not. He was like, smells like mice. And I was like, how do you
But
know
maybe
that it
that's
smells
it.
like mice?
Also, here's the other thing too. You have to be aware of. There is a slight amount of salesmanship within
This guy was I could tell, okay, because I know a salesman. I know that's you. I know them when I hear them. You know.
What do you mean
okay?
that's me?
You is how you speak. This guy was like just like a really nice guy. Da 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 da. He comes and he's like really just like I smell mice, and I was like, how do you smell mice? And he was like, because mice on their stomachs have an oil coating, right? Okay. And that shit smells. And when they walk and stuff, they like pee and then oil everywhere. And then it's just like a smell of mice that I guess if you've been working in this field, you know, right? Just like I can tell if I hear something and someone has anxiety, I can tell from like instantly, you know? So
let's listen. Oh, fine, whatever. The situation is taken care of. I just don't want a whole podcast devoted to like talking about fucking mice
my
that have already.
God.
The situation's already been taken care of.
well, how it's been taken care of is because I had to push you to go and get
spend
the higher
$1,000.
package to close off the whole outside of our home.
Yeah. Listen, guys can relate. It's like you just gotta do whatever. Because then there'll be another level. It'll be something else. We'll spend $1,000 on deflecting mice, and then like freaking I don't know, worms will be in the house or something like, or ants or something. And then we gotta spend another. It's never ending. And I think that what this is just home ownership. Period. Like if you don't.
I
own,
can have a podcast and talk about home ownership all day long now.
If you-
Literally all day long. I
If
can
you
tell
don't
you guys all about it.
have like a brand new, like everything is like tightly sealed, like fucking whatever house, then you've probably run into some of these issues before, right? And we're not like the way she talks about it is like it's like this fucking crazy infestation. Have you ever seen one mouse? No. Have you ever seen like anything? No. Because it's like it's a few.
But
here,
now I
it's
know
like,
they're
you know?
I know they're there. They're somewhere, you know. So,
But
anyhow,
anyways, yeah.
I mean, that's my drama, I guess, that we have mice.
Yeah.
So
Can't talk about freaking mice for like an hour here, which you could. That's
Oh,
why
I could
that's
go
why I had
on.
to just cut you off.
yeah,
because-
I can go on. No, like legit. I mean, I hope that you got like. I really need people to understand that I can talk about this all day.
Start your own mouse podcast.
Fuck, man, mice and bear. Talk about bears all day, also, guys.
Yeah. She's never seen either of them. Never seen one of either of them ever.
Fucking bears. So what did we get into today?
Well, there was a couple things from old
Yesterday.
podcast. There was like there was something that you wanted to talk about from yesterday, but then there's also like
Hate
the
crimes.
dopamine. Oh yeah, hate crimes.
Hate crimes.
Do you want to tell the story about how
I
you
do.
learned about what
So-
hate crimes are?
Okay. So I actually forgot how this whole thing happened.
Well, there was a billboard. And we
there
drove
was
by
a
this
billboard
and it
that
said something
said
about
report that said if you see a hate crime, report a hate crime.
like kind of like TSA, see something, say something.
Right. So then I read it and I was just like in the front seat and I was like, I would definitely report a hate crime, you know? Like,
And I was
that's
like,
just
you fucking rat.
yeah, and he called me a rat. And I was like, why would I not report a hate crime? That's awful. Like, of course I'm going to report a hate crime. And he was just like, oh, what? And like messing with me. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't understand what you're arguing because it's a hate crime. So then
I was talking about it's promoting racial division.
So then he was like, do you even know what a hate crime is? Right? And he's like going all into this stuff. And I'm like, a hate crime, this was my definition. A hate crime is when someone, I feel, purposely or like does something to harm someone in some way, shape, or form, that is someone who is opposite of that person's beliefs, values, morals, skin color, whatever. And so therefore they are doing a crime towards another person who is basically opposite of them and what they believe in, period. That's what I thought a hate crime was, right?
Yeah,
which it is.
And then I'm just like, well, it's basically just a crime where somebody hates the other person.
Right. And then I said,
like,
well, no.
right?
No, but that's not, though, because a hate crime is a specific deliberate action.
Aren't all crimes like hating something?
And I'm telling you, it's not, you guys. If we get the example of, let's say this is a drug crime. Let's say somebody gets killed or gets shot up because of a drug thing, right? Now, it's not the person who, let's say, is going to kill that person is killing that person because you did not pay me my fucking money. So this has nothing to do with the fact that I hate you and that I don't like your values or morals or it's prejudice.
You don't think that
it solely has to do with the fact that you didn't fucking pay me and this is my business. So you're dead.
Oh, I mean,
That
I guess there's some like
that to me wouldn't be a hate crime.
I suppose that there's some non-emotional drug dealers out there, I guess, right?
Some non-emotional drug dealers?
Because if they're emotional, then they may actually hate them for not paying.
Oh, if they're emotional, they may. Well, no, that has nothing to do with that. It's a fucking business. You just want people to not pay you when you're selling drugs?
Is the word hate an emotion?
Feeling.
It's a
yes.
feeling.
Yeah, feeling, emotion, yes.
Okay. So it's got nothing to do with the actual crime, right? It's like,
so you're telling me that because this guy didn't pay you, you hate him because he didn't pay you, so therefore it's a hate crime.
Listen, there's not a lot of people like me where I could actually separate the dislike for somebody for the business of whatever we're dealing with, right? I could there's a lot of situations where I've been in business with people and I just fucking didn't like what they were doing, and then I continue being friends with them after our business is done. Not a lot of people can do that.
When it comes to drugs,
I'm not talking about drugs. I'm just talking about anything.
I'm talking about like the reasons why people, let's say, would kill someone.
Why does that have to be a
someone.
drug deal? Why are we talking
That was an example that I made in terms of a action that would be someone is harmed, and it's not a hate crime. It's a business crime of you didn't pay me, so here you go.
So that's not a hate crime because it's a business crime.
I don't see it as a hate crime because it has nothing to do with really hate.
What are you talking about? Maybe the guy fucking hates him. Like, I mean, I guess in your
I don't think it
hypothetical...
goes that deep. I think it's really just like, you didn't fucking pay me.
But if he paid him, they'd be best friends?
No, he'd be like, okay, you stay alive, you paid me, and now we can continue these transactions.
You watch way too many movies. Like,
you don't think that's how... you think that there's more, so there's more to it when it comes to... I don't know.
It's every individual basis. I don't fucking know.
But I feel
this is a
like,
horrible example, I think.
All right,
what
fine.
You're trying
so what's
to say
another
here.
example? Okay. Robber goes into the bodega, right, and points the gun or whatever at the clerk, right, behind, right, and he's just basically like, "Give me all your fucking money, or I'm gonna kill you," right?
Okay.
And the clerk is like,
"That's a crime."
It's a crime. Is that a hate crime? It has nothing to do with the fact that the guy's Indian. It has to do with the fact that he wants the fucking money from the damn drawer.
But what does it matter whether the guy hates him or not? It's still the crime.
Right, but they're separating crimes from hate crimes.
Yeah, this is the racial division.
Oh, wait a minute.
This is what I'm talking about.
So basically, it really shouldn't be if you see a hate crime. It's really if you see any
If you see
crime,
any fucking crime, why does
it have to be a hate crime? Gotcha.
Right.
Gotcha. I had to process
so
that
now if it's the guy that goes into the bodega and he's a white guy and the owner is a black guy,
they're gonna make
then
it
that's a hate crime.
Well, they're gonna make it
instead of just being, hey, this is
I
one
wanted
guy
the money from the cash register.
Stealing from another guy.
I simply wanted the money.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what color.
That's what they do.
But this
Well,
is how they inject racial division. And you think it's like oh yeah, we're supporting other people that are getting racially discriminated and crimed on. Yes, but it shouldn't matter who's doing who to what to who. It's a crime.
It's a crime.
Yeah.
A crime is a crime is a crime, basically.
That's what it should be, right?
Right.
Like,
But
but
there's a
because they
difference.
make you focus on the racial.
Oh, so then the other example that you asked me was, so, Aaliyah, if you saw two white men with knives in the middle of the street fighting each other, okay, and trying to kill each other, would that be a hate crime? And I said, it sure would if there's bad blood between
each other.
If there's bad blood between them and they don't like each other, they hate each other because maybe someone slept with some or whatever, that would still be a hate crime. He hates this guy. He slept with his wife.
But what if?
But they're not saying that hate crimes are that in the dictionary.
How do you know that
They're
those
focused
two?
on a prejudice
Right.
and a
Well,
racial.
I don't think that's in the dictionary.
It's
'Cause this was
actually-
just made up.
No.
Like just like a couple of years ago.
It actually is in the dictionary.
Well, maybe it is now, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I looked it up yesterday to make sure that,
what, the Google dictionary?
whatever. The Google Dictionary. Google. Oxford Languages. Definitions. Hate crime. A crime typically one involving violence that is motivated by prejudice on the basis of race. So those two white guys fight knifing because the one guy slept with his wife would not be considered a hate crime,
Even if they hated each other.
even if they hate each other, because it's not on the basis of race
Yeah.
or religion or sexual orientation.
That's just a crime, unless it's a black guy and a white guy.
And then
wielding
they'll turn it
knives.
into that.
Right. Do you see how your
Yeah. Now I'm
focus
getting there, yeah.
your focus gets off of the actual problem that they're trying to stab each other. It doesn't matter what color they are, and you see what's that? Where I'm going with
Yeah, I
this?
hear you.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that I see how people can fall into that and be like, oh yeah, we want to not have hate crimes. Well, you just don't want to have crime. That's what you want. No matter what color
Whether
you
it's,
are.
yeah. Really.
More racial division. Unnecessary.
All right.
I'm sure somebody could clearly talk to us right now and be like, Joe, you're an idiot.
I wish somebody would come on
I
here and be
know,
like, Joe,
I know.
I want someone.
I want people to tell me
someone
I'm an
badly to come on and be like, Joe, what you're saying is fucking stupid.
And then I start getting in. Why?
Yeah.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba?
Yeah. I want
Why?
someone to see that spiral.
Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba? Why?
I want you guys to see it.
Usually after the second why, they start, fuck you, you're an idiot. That's what happens.
I want someone to see it.
But yeah, maybe one day we'll have that live interaction with someone.
I know it hasn't happened yet. I'm really, really wanting it.
We're not that popular yet.
We're not that popular.
Yeah.
Such
Oh,
a shame
yeah.
because when I listen to our podcast, I'm like, this is a fucking great podcast.
We're like, man, more people should
When
be
I listen
listening
to our
this.
podcast on the way to the office,
What
I'm
is-
like, this
yeah.
is the best fucking podcast. I am cracking up
Yeah.
and really intrigued.
Yep.
Does anybody else listen to their own podcast?
Well, I listen to it because it's like, I kind of gotta. I'm trying to get better at it, so I want to listen to see what I'm saying and how I'm saying it, and what we're talking about. But yeah, it's also once you start listening to it, it's like you're like, oh, okay, I like this. I try to take myself out of who I'm listening to. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Being there, and
For sure.
what is that called? Outside perspective or something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
As you can see, we're kind of low on fuel today as far as content. I told Lee, I was like, you gotta I don't know, you gotta get something in here to fire me up today because I don't really know.
Joe has nothing to talk about today.
Well, I mean, we could talk about the whole the New Orleans thing.
What happened to your friends?
Yeah, I mean, we could probably say who it is, but
Let's just leave names out of this.
we'll just leave names out. But yeah, so our friends went down to New Orleans and they weren't vaccinated and they got down there fine, but then they realized that they went there for a friend's birthday, right? So
Like a
there's
whole
all these
event.
events going on throughout the weekend and they can't go to any of them because they needed a vaccine card to get into
Passport.
any of the restaurants or bars or whatever. So
In Louisiana, they're doing this.
yeah, so what they end up doing is just copying one off of somebody, and they got into everywhere after that. Nobody cares. Nobody actually cares if you're actually vaccinated to validate it. They just want to see it. And you know why this is? Because nobody actually agrees with it, I don't think. They're just doing it because they don't want to get in trouble by the state or the government, so they just do what they say. But nobody's actually like sitting there like, okay, this is a
But
valid
my thing about that whole entire rule that's going on right now of, I can understand saying, and I still would think that this was dumb, but I could understand saying, oh, you have shit on the bottom of your sneaker.
Well, that's from the farm. Fuck.
He went to the farm, he has shit on the bottom of his sneaker. It was like a big lump
Oh
of
my
shit.
God. Like you probably got it on yours too.
I don't, I looked.
Oh, gee. That's why I hate fucking going in there.
Oh my God.
So Leah's always pushing me to go into the goddamn fucking petting farm with the
That
fucking
is
kid.
so much shit on the bottom of your sneaker. It's like
I'm not going in them anymore. I've done it 2 times. I'm done. All right, you go with Soul and go pet whatever. I'll videotape from the outside.
Soul sneakers have nothing on the bottom of them. Wow.
Because I was fucking carrying her the whole time.
Oh yeah. So anyway,
She's smart. She's like, I'm not touching
yeah,
that.
she was
I'm
like,
not-
no. She's like, you want to get down? No.
You get shit on your shoes.
Yeah.
All right, sorry.
So anyway, so I could understand if they were like, okay, you have to be vaccinated, so therefore I want you to show proof that you got vaccinated and that's what you have every time you go into a place. That makes more sense to me. However, I think it's ridiculous. Now,
You didn't tell why.
hold on. Now, what's extra ridiculous to me and doesn't make sense is the whole, you have to show proof that you're vaccinated and or proof that you have a negative
negative test.
COVID test. So then I think to myself, okay, so then let's say I have to go to, I don't know, some restaurant at 12 o'clock. I get the test at 11, okay? I get the results, it's negative. Cool. I go to the restaurant. I show I have a negative result. All right, bam. Now, I also have to go meet some friends at 4 o'clock for this concert, and they're checking. Okay, bam. Had a negative test at 11 a.m. It's now 4 o'clock. No big deal. It's negative.
Well, you went to the gas station. You touched the handle there. You walked in a few doors. You rubbed your nose. You coughed on your hand. Somebody coughed on you.
But
you
my
walked
thing is
through a
that
crowd.
if this thing is so contagious, which is what they're saying, then that means that between 11 a.m. and 4, there could be a chance then.
No, that's stupid, Aaliyah.
There could be a chance that I can get COVID
Listen,
in the middle of that time.
If you got the test within 3 days, you're fine.
Drives me nuts. This is the thing about this shit that.
This is what I'm saying.
And again,
That's
let me
it.
like still call myself out, like, because again, like I got the vaccine. You guys all know that. I've openly talked about it. Fear, my family, all that stuff got in my head, and I was like, vaccine, right? So I got it. I didn't get the booster. And I do have different views from Joe in terms of vaccines in general. For me, what stands out is just like the stupidity of the rules going on because they're so contradicting and no one's making any sense with anything. And so that's the stuff to me that I'm like, this is now this is stupid. It's because none of this makes any sense.
Yeah, because people, like I said before, they don't actually care. They're only doing it out of fear of getting in trouble by the government. They don't really want to do this shit. But they are doing it because they don't want to lose money at their fucking business. They don't want to shut their doors. So I understand that and I get it. But, you know, I don't know. This is why I really respect the restaurants that are actually making a stand if they're saying fuck that shit. Or I even respect the ones that are really about it and they're really inspecting and making sure that you got this test an hour ago or you got whatever vaccine. But like, you know, the ones in between, which are the majority of them that are just like, show me that piece of paper or whatever. It says no vaccination. Like I literally wrote it before I went in there. They're like, yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Those ones, they're just doing it just to keep their doors open, which, you know, proves a good point there. It's like that this is all bullshit. It's all stupid. It doesn't make any sense. Everybody knows it doesn't make sense, but they do it anyways out of fear. Fear drives everything.
Fucking fear.
And like, you know, nobody will really talk about that unless you actually boil it down like this.
No, it's fear, of course.
They'll just be like, well, they told me, so just show me something. And I'm like, okay, well, why are you asking me to do this right now?
But they won't think it's fear.
You get to the second why, and then they start talking about fear.
I mean, it's totally fear, though. Fear is a motherfucker, I tell you. I hate that damn thing.
It is until you're able
Sometimes
to.
it's needed, and obviously, you know, and it is good to have to a certain degree for sure. But man, it could really just like fuck your whole shit up.
And still staying on this vaccine thing for a little bit. I know we touch on it like basically every goddamn podcast, but what is the deal? Another nonsensical thing to me. What is the deal with like, all right, people, the mandate of being vaccinated, right? That's whatever, but like, why are people? What do people think like they're protecting? Who are they protecting? They're protecting the people that are unvaccinated, or they're protecting the people that are vaccinated? Because if you're already vaccinated, you're technically supposed to already be protected, right?
But I didn't
so
want to bring
if
this
somebody,
up but we've gotten into all this before.
not this part, I don't think.
Yes, we definitely have, and there's no. I mean, we could run around in circles with this. I just wanted to bring up the fact of
Well, you're
the
interrupting me too,
craziness
by the
of the
way.
world right now. Because of these vaccine passports. Because I know where you're going to go with this. You're going to bring up the same thing that you always
No.
bring up.
I'll just ask the one question and we'll just leave it there.
All right.
Okay. So this is why I would like to speak to somebody that has a different opinion than me about this on vaccines, because I cannot get an answer for this, right? So if you're vaccinated, what is the purpose of this whole mandate and making sure everybody gets vaccinated? The question is, who are we protecting by getting everybody vaccinated? Because the people that aren't vaccinated clearly are willing to take the risk of getting sick or whatever, and maybe they're taking their health into their own hands and they're doing what needs to be done, right? And then the other people are getting vaccinated, which is the equivalent of that essentially, right? Supposedly, you're getting the vaccine to prevent getting the virus. So who are we protecting? The unvaccinated? If we're protecting the unvaccinated, then they're the ones that are choosing not to be vaccinated, that are willing to take the fucking risk, that don't want anybody's help. And if we're protecting the vaccinated, then that's a whole other story. What the hell's going on here? This vaccine doesn't work? Is that what you're saying?
It does, but you have to have 3.
So go get the fucking 3 then. Don't make everybody else go get fucking vaccinated. What are we doing here? What's happening? So anybody out there, if you want to comment or jump on the live right now, whatever, let me know. I'm sure I won't hear anything about this because nobody knows the answer to this. The end.
I mean,
Okay.
it's a pretty deep. Yeah, I mean, it's a question.
Not deep. That's pretty straightforward.
No, it's straightforward, but I think it's a question that has a very has a lot of layers to it within the answer. You know, like I don't think it's like I think there's lots of layers in the answer to that question. I don't know what the layers
like
are.
the variables
I just
of
think
like,
that,
well, does the vaccine actually work?
well, and then of course
Maybe we'll go with that. Then yeah.
I mean, there's just so many
that could
layers.
be possible.
You know.
There could be, I guess, people that aren't vaccinated that are unable to get vaccinated, I guess. Those are the people we're protecting? I don't know.
Oh my God, I will tell you though, I didn't tell you this, like about the side effects that happen to some people with the vaccine. So, Catherine, right, and her dad, they both got the vaccine. They both got the same one. They both got it, I think, on the same day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she sends me a fucking video. And she had told me that after the vaccine, she was experiencing these these pulses, these nerve things in her leg right here.
Oh, blood clot.
And I was like, really? That's weird, girl. And she was like, yeah. So then she freaking sends a video of it. She's just laying in bed. And I shit you not, it's like, boom, boom,
The vein,
boom,
the vessels.
boom,
Like,
all of it, boom, 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 right? And I was like, dude, that is fucking crazy. You need to go to the fucking doctor. Like, what the fuck is that? Now, her dad also has the same thing, which I think is very interesting. But I'm like, girl, go get it checked out.
blood clots have been known to be a thing, right? I
Like, what the
guess.
fuck is that? Yeah. So, crazy.
Yeah. Yep. I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore.
I can't believe nothing happened to me, truly. Knock on wood, because I feel like something's always happening to me.
Yeah.
So that's actually quite amazing.
Yeah. I mean, we could dabble into this conspiracy theory that your friend had brought up to me the other day.
I don't think people are. That's a pretty deep one.
It's interesting. I'd like to just throw it out there, but not really go into it because I don't. There's no proof of any of this, right? So, so the thought was by this person, and listen, I'm open to it, but like, there's no proof to any of this, right? But let's just say, let's just say in say a couple of years from now, there's the majority of the states have mandated vaccines and all this other stuff, and they've really gone full blown into, the virus and protecting people and stuff, right? And then there's a few other states such as Florida, Texas, and maybe another handful of other states that are like, no, we just want we just want freedom and people to make their own choices, right? So what this person was saying was that this could be a purposeful thing, and to funnel all the like-minded people into these states, and then somehow at some point down the road eradicate them or do something to fuck up those states and those people in those states. I don't know. Seems a little much. I hope that that's not the case, but I guess it's a who knows. There's a lot of crazy things happening right now. I don't really know what's going on.
I guess everything's just like up in the air, yeah. But I feel like that one's so big for me that I'm like,
yeah, you'd have to have a lot of people lined up and involved in that and making that happen for that to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
But who knows? Who knows? I don't know.
Anything's possible.
Because if you only got like 3 or 4 states that are doing that, and everybody, a shitload of people just moved to Florida. Like, shitloads.
Oh, I miss Florida. Every time we talk about Florida, I never thought I would ever say that I miss Florida, but I really do.
Yeah.
I miss being in Florida. I miss being free and fun and just like not caring about mice and not caring about whether I have to wear a mask somewhere or not, and not like forgetting my mask and being like, fuck, I forgot my mask, and like now I can't go in somewhere because I forgot my mask, like.
Yeah, we literally wouldn't have been able to pet the goats today because you got to go into this little stupid little barn and pay the lady.
Actually, I'm kind of confused as to whether that was a thing or not, because the lady that was marking your hand,
I don't think they gave
didn't
a
even
fuck.
have her fucking mask on.
I don't think it was
why
a
we
thing.
all had our masks on, I had no idea.
I just fell into it with you.
I fell into it because everybody else had it on, so I was like,
I usually just.
I was like
in.
a fucking follower in that moment.
Yeah, but
I guess everybody else has them on. So.
Right, you were, and then you got me into it because this was like your thing. You set it up, so I was just doing.
Well, I like to follow the rules. You know that I'm
my
such a
God.
rule follower. I like to follow the rules. Oddly enough, I never followed them when I was younger.
Because we've been seeing a lot of people out here with, wearing masks in the street by themselves.
In the car.
In the car. No, just walking down the street.
Walking out. Everyone does that out here. It's fucking wild. I don't get it. I mean, even I don't get it. And I'm like, for me, I'm like, look, like when you wanted to go to Joe Rogan, I was like, okay, but my thing was like, I don't like wearing a mask either, and I'm cool without it, but in a closed auditorium with lots of people, in a circle, I don't know what's going on there. But everyone's sitting next to each other. It's probably a sold-out show. I don't know.
This is the reason why we didn't go see Joe Rogan.
It is not the reason why we didn't see Joe Rogan. Let's be clear. I was still going to go, okay? I told you to make the decision.
Yeah.
And you didn't make it.
Just wait out.
But that was one of my
It wasn't
thoughts.
about that. It was more about like driving to Boston.
Yeah.
Which isn't that bad, but it was at nighttime. Aaliyah starts falling asleep around 9.
9,
Now, this was at 8 o'clock at night. It was a last minute thing too.
Last minute.
So we made executive decisions and didn't go see Joe Rogan, which is my dream.
His dream is to go see Joe Rogan. My dream is to see Jorge Masvidal. Jorge, if you're listening, if you ever come across this podcast, I fucking love you. I can't wait to meet you one day. I am just so into your fighting style, and I respect you. Shout out.
Yep. Another thing she obsesses about that she's never seen before.
We were going to see Jorge that one day. Remember, I was going to bring you with me. I got T-shirts and everything. I was so excited for it. We got super necessary. We were going to go see, and then we had to see stupid fucking houses, and then I couldn't see him.
And then we didn't even move into the house.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Anyway. So social media.
Was that part of the list? What about it?
Social media. This was the ending of the last podcast that we did, not with David.
Oh, well,
and
they had
Melissa.
that big shutdown.
What shutdown?
Facebook was down for a whole day.
Oh, yeah. I read that What's-His-Face lost like billions of dollars because of that.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. What's his name again?
Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg. You know, every time I think of Mark Zuckerberg, I immediately think of the actor who played him in Social Network or whatever.
Oh, why he looks like him.
I mean, I don't think he looks like him, but I think he did a really good job, and so that's where I go.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to say about that anyway.
No, but the social networking that I was talking really about in our last podcast, we ended with getting into how there are now platforms out there such as Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, all these things that have now become drugs and have now become people's.
No, we were talking about dopamine and the effects of it.
But they're drugs so much so that because I got to tell you, I have adolescents, let's say, who I work with, okay, who are video gaming, okay, literally in a 24-hour period with some of that sleeping, obviously, okay, 12 hours a day on video games each day. Like, this is like real, right? And so it's interesting because they also have depression. But yet, when they're gaming and on the videos, that depression has shifted, meaning now they're excited, dopamine's going, right? They're in it, they're in the zone, When the game is done and they have to do something else, so we were talking about that as relating it to a drug and really the drug of meth, because what I said was methamphetamine users, right? How when you use meth, it starts to decrease the amounts of dopamine that your brain could produce, so therefore you lose that pleasure in doing things other than using meth, right?
Well, let's rewind this. This is from like a couple podcasts ago. So the focus of the conversation was about increased dopamine levels, right? Mm-hmm. Due to whatever, whether it's drugs or any kind of stimuli outside of drugs. And we're talking about news. We're talking about being in Vegas and all the fucking lights and shows. There's so many things going on in the world right now that like you never get a chance to just be with yourself and understand what you like and what you want to do and how you want to execute things. There's just so much bombardment of culture all the time that it creates high dopamine levels within your body, right? And this is a subconscious thing even. And what we were talking about on that podcast was that your body's essentially, what would you call it, defense to high dopamine levels would be, it has to counteract it because your body's always trying to come back to a neutral, balanced state, right? So if your dopamine levels are high because of let's just say, for instance, heroin, right, where they're fucking super fucking jacked up, your body is actually going into a depressive state to bring you back to that middle ground. So when you get off of heroin, That's why you're so depressed, because your body's going back. So it takes time for your body
get
to
back
come
to that.
back to that balance.
And nobody
point.
wants to wait that time.
Right. So
And,
that's
well,
an extreme version.
Not that they don't want to wait, but I think also it's very difficult waiting that time.
Right. So that's an extreme version. But what I'm talking about is like just the day-to-day life of culture. And we are getting stimulated to a high level,
degree.
high dopamine level, that when you're just by yourself, you're like, this is boring. I can't,
What do I do
whatever.
now?
Yeah, what do I do now? And that is the equivalent of it. Your body is going into a depressive state, and you need to take time.
And trying to bring
which
you
is-
back. But
which
because
is-
in that situation, nobody wants to wait that fucking long.
Right.
Then it's like, I can't wait. Now it's back on Instagram.
Which is why it's so tough for people to. Everybody says they want to get into yoga, they want to get into meditation, they want to get into these like slow, isolated, I don't know, things that they do with themselves. But it sounds like a good idea. Everybody knows that they need to do it, but because of the time that it takes to get back to that balanced state, I think they avoid it. Because you can't just like meditate one day and be like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing in the world. For most people, unless you're somebody that is not very stimulated all the time, maybe you live out in the woods or whatever, you don't watch TV, you don't watch the news. So it's probably easier for a person like that to
stay
get
in the
into
present, yeah.
meditation than it is for somebody that's constantly being stimulated to most of the time, like they're unaware of it.
Right.
So I don't know what you want to call that, but that's something that's actually happening right now. That's a fact. That's not like some like
it happens
bullshit.
every day, like every second, all the time, every
Right.
moment.
So what did I wanted to talk to you about? Just like, yeah, the effects of like the dopamine. So what I'm saying is true. Can we go any deeper than that? About
I feel like I had a note on that, actually. I feel like we did want to go deeper. Hold on. Societal factors become the stimulus, so we don't have it. Unit become depressed. Oh yeah, okay.
I think people just don't. Why I wanted to say this, I think people just don't understand that, or they don't take those things as stimuli. That's just normal life because it's everywhere and it's all the time.
Right, like this
you
is
know?
what I'm doing. Right.
But you're
right.
actually getting stimulated, not to a obviously heroin level. Maybe some people, maybe with video games, maybe with sports, football or whatever. Like maybe with those things, possibly you're getting to that level where if you don't have that thing or whatever, you could go into a depressive state and you don't know why. And that's why.
Yeah, that just depends, I guess, on the amount of dopamine that's really being released in that time.
Right.
I mean, if it's a very high amount, then what goes up must come down.
Right.
So.
I mean, also you mix that in with like if you take football, which we've realized that up here
Serious.
north, people are like
People
serious.
will
Like
take football over anything.
Yeah, they'll like cancel like that. Very important things to do because you can't do it on a Sunday. We have to reschedule that for Monday.
No one can do anything on Sundays, guys.
Right. So if you couple that level of like intensity of needing to do something on a certain day with like alcohol and probably smoking some weed and like eating crappy food.
Actually, we do have so the person that contacted you today, I mean, or the other day
Yeah.
to see the condo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So the thing with that person was that, could that person have seen the condo this afternoon? Yes. However,
They
what
had to
happened in that
state-
moment
yeah,
was
to make
that
mention.
they had to state that football was on. And so he really wasn't sure if he really wanted to go because football was on. Now, had we been like, it's the only time you have to come, so you got to come, and he still
would've
came,
done it, yeah.
he either would have come and maybe just kind of been like,
Rush through it maybe.
rushed
or-
through it, maybe kind of not really totally present, right? And not really fully like aware and mindful of what's going on in that moment because he's now distracted with this stimulus, right? Which is the whole football, because football, dopamine, and forget about it.
Hold
you
on,
know?
let me preface this. So we're renting out my dad's old condo, right? So this guy calls me and he's like telling me how it's impossible for him to find a place and he really wants to look at my place. He says there's no places available until next year. This is what he says to me.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, so 2 minutes later, I'm like, okay, well, can you come Sunday afternoon? And then he says this. So it's
football.
to that level. Like, all right, it's very important because we need a roof over our head, but football's on.
But football's on.
So,
So I'm going to take the chance and have somebody else sweep it up because football's on.
Right,
but no
right.
one's sweeping it up because guess what? Everyone's watching football here in Rhode Island.
yeah, nobody's coming to see it today.
No one. No one.
Which is obviously a separate conversation, but we're just showing you like how
the severity
serious
of this
this
shit,
is.
man. Yeah, like the intensity of how serious these things can become, you know? And this is anything, right? So we have TV in general, right? So it's any sport, blah, 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 blah. Instagram, right? All the social media platforms. I mean, but this also, I mean, food, shopping, right? And now now it's so easy because, I mean, they call those addictions, right? So God forbid somebody, you know, just like, you know, shops excessively or anything like that and gets stimulated from that, shopping addiction. You know, they've always want to slap the word addiction on so many things so quickly. I hate that shit.
Well, it's kind of like hate crimes. It creates a thought in your
kinda like
mind
a
that
hate crime.
just
Yeah.
the focus you is not on the problem. It's oh, that's just an addiction. Don't worry about that one. So it's like you don't get like sports addictions, or is that what you're getting at? Like there's no,
Well, my thing is that anything, right? So anything
won't label
could
it
be,
that.
but they won't label it that. But in the addiction world, meaning the world of like, you know, drug addiction, gambling, alcoholic, stuff like that, the label addict is used so quickly on this thing. So
Right.
if someone comes in and they're just like, okay, it's like addict, right? And then I start thinking, I'm like, okay, well, then really, right, like anything could
yeah,
be. If
TV
I have,
addict, news addict.
right, coffee, this, that,
Coffee
cigarettes,
addict.
blah, 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 you know? I'm a sugar addict, right?
Well, they see they can put it on cigarettes though. They'll say you're addicted to cigarettes.
Right,
it's only
but I feel
certain
like
things.
people don't say that they're. I feel like when you ask the question, like, do you have an addiction? If you're a smoker, you don't think that is. Because I know that I wouldn't. Like, when
It's a
I'm
negative
smoking, I
phrase.
wouldn't have said that I was. Because I'd be like, I'm smoking. Like, I'm smoking a cigarette.
I just smoke whenever I want to smoke. That's,
I mean,
that's not an
hello.
addiction.
Right, because I can, and no one's being hurt by it around me. But then it's like, ooh, heroin. It's like, you know, this is.
Actually, more
huge.
people are being hurt by secondhand smoke than a heroin addict just shooting up in a closet. I mean, they're hurting themselves, obviously. And
Is
their
that fact
families
right now?
I mean, I'm just
We
thinking,
don't know what the numbers
I'm
are
just,
right now.
I'm just thinking off the top of my head, like if you go outside and you smoke and like it's a high traffic sidewalk, everybody that walks by is sucking in that smoke, right?
Right.
So at some level, they're kind of getting
I mean, but a
affected.
heroin addict, that's some pretty.
Yeah, maybe
I think they have a higher chance, yeah.
A little deep with that one, but no, yeah, you're right. So since they don't put that addiction label on it, you don't realize it, and everybody's just doing it. So it's a cultural thing. I would like to put a label on this: cultural stimuli. It's basically everything.
Hold on, cultural stimuli disorder. CSD. CSD. Cultural stimuli disorder.
It's an addiction of culture.
Yeah, I love doing these things. CSD, that's one, okay? So you know what? Fuck it. Let's make our own DSM, okay? So cultural stimuli disorder, that's the first diagnosis disorder that we're going to put in our new DSM. The second one I have that I've always had with people
Put in the Google dictionary.
is
makes it
called
official.
hold on. PP. Damn it, I had one for a long time ago. I always used to use with people.
What are you talking about right now?
A disorder that I made up that I used to use with people all the time.
Oh, you
And I
tell
used
them
to-
like this
I
is
used
legit.
to tell them, I'd be like, oh, no, I didn't tell them that it's
Oh, you just
legit.
have PLCD.
But I would be like, oh, you have this. They'd be like, what's that? And I'd be like, well,
I just made it up.
And I'd be like, well, I made it up. But it totally is that if it were like a fucking disorder, you know? But I used to have one for people who were just like emotionally immature, but so really stuck in a very just immature mindset, very childlike, but they were older. I used to have one for that.
Oh my God, that was like literally that movie we watched last night.
PPS. That's what it was called.
That was literally that movie we watched
PPS.
last night. What was it called? Small Engine Repair?
Yeah, I know,
That
but hold
movie?
on.
Oh, we can
PPS.
talking about it.
Yeah, but you just
What-
interrupted it.
what does
What's
that mean?
PCS? What's
What
PPS?
does that mean,
Yes,
Aaliyah?
PPS, Peter Pan syndrome, which I honestly feel
that
like
mean?
it should be a syndrome.
Peter Pan. What the fuck are you talking about?
Do you know the story of Peter Pan?
Oh my God. You have to explain the whole story of Peter Pan to me to explain this syndrome?
I mean, I don't, but the premise of Peter Pan, basically, Peter Pan is this freaking
Fake thing.
boy or whatever, older teenager kid, whatever, that has this whole I don't ever want to grow up thing. He never wants to grow up. He never wants to be an adult. He never wants responsibility. So he always wants to be a kid for the rest of his life.
That's a lot of people.
Peter Pan syndrome.
That's a lot of people that they don't even realize it either. Like I think, you know what? This is the difference. And I'm not saying this is good or bad at all, by the way, right? But when you're trying to explain, and I'm going in a totally different direction here in a second.
Are you going to tie it to
Yeah.
PPS?
But when you're trying to explain, and I was the same way when I didn't have kids, right? But you know that thing that, like, if you do have kids, you can't even verbalize it to people that don't have kids, like the feeling, that thing, right? And what I think that thing is fucking another level of responsibility. That's what it is. It's like this whole other world of responsibility that you can't even explain to somebody. And I think that is something, going back to what you were saying, maybe people that don't have kids have a slight level of that. And I'm not saying all of them, but
because of no, I get that.
Because there's no need
so it's
to.
Not, right.
Right?
It's not basically saying that if you
thing.
don't have kids that you're automatically just like emotionally immature. He's basically saying that with having kids comes a whole new level of responsibility that you'll just never have.
You
if
don't
you
have
don't
to
have
have
kids.
it. It's unnecessary.
You don't have to have it. So it's not that you just don't have to have it, right? So because you don't have to have it, you're still living in the land that you're living in, which is fine.
I like that land.
I love that land. that was. I mean, I love this land too because I absolutely
Right.
adore my daughter. But I mean, like that land was great too.
But you know what? It's so good about this new land is that, for me at least, it's like it because I'm the type of person that likes mental challenges, and this is one of the highest levels of that. Like, you're constantly thinking about every fucking thing you do and say, and how you're going to do it, and what the future's going to look like, and if you do this, what's she going to think it's going to be like in a year from now?
You know what I was thinking? I don't understand. Well, I do. So when I say things like I don't understand, and then I say something, then I ask a question, I say, I do understand, but I just say I don't understand just to like talk about it as though I don't, but I do.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so I don't understand why why people who have kids don't automatically just have self-awareness. And the reason why I'm saying this is because...
This is a good question.
Because I have never been so aware of myself as much as I am now with a kid than I was before. Because you have to fucking be thinking about everything. You have to see what you're doing. Your kids reflect you. I mean, I just realized how many times I make like these dramatic noises because my kid does it now every single second. I didn't know how dramatic I was with my noises, but apparently I'm always like, ugh.
Yeah, she walks. Our daughter walks around like sounding like an old lady. I'm like, see, that's you.
And she does it in the right moments too. She'll get up on the chair and she's like, ugh. Or like she'll drop something. You know
it's not hard for her, but she's just doing it because
and she'll drop something and she'll be like, ugh. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. I didn't even realize that shit. So like, how could you not become self-aware
Stop not in front of the microphone.
With having kids, because it's crazy that you can't. It's right in front of your face. Now, I know the answer to that is what I'm saying.
You do know the answer.
Right.
All right. Do we want to go over the answer to that?
Well, I like to act stupid sometimes so that we can just discuss openly.
Oh, yeah. All right. So, I mean, I'll tell you why. What I think is it's a lot, right? So if you're not already that type of person that is self-aware prior to having kids, I don't think you will ever be self-aware after that. Because it takes all you're just seeing what's the reaction, the thing that's happening. And if you already don't know that you make those noises and do all that stuff, then you just think she's doing this, and it's like either annoying or you're just laughing at it. It's cute or whatever, and it's just on to the next, right? So I think it's the type of person that you are going into having kids is who gets more heightened, whatever that is.
Yeah, I mean it's so basically I would see it as so people who, let's say, have children who still struggle with the self-awareness piece, I would say were individuals prior to having children who lived in a very, avoidant denial, dismissive, removed, detached, or whatever kind of mentality. So therefore, they weren't really able to see things then. So if they couldn't see things then it doesn't really matter when
now
they
there's
have
even
kids,
more stuff going on
because
to,
now
just
it's
to
happening,
distract you from doing that.
Now
even
there's
more.
so many other things going on that's going to then prevent them from seeing things. So therefore, that makes sense to me, But it's such a shame because it really is. I mean, it really is the time. It's like the time. Like it's like because if you, it's like they're standing in front of you doing the same shit you're doing. Literally. I mean, it's like, so the amount of denial that you would have, to be honest, like, and I'm not saying this, please understand, I'm not saying this in a degrading, belittling, fucked up way. I'm saying this in a way of just the brain is a miraculous thing to me. It really is. And so the fact that the level of denial and the level of avoidance could be so high that your kid is acting like you in front of you.
And you don't know.
You
just think it's them.
Like, that is like, wow, right. I mean, it's unfortunate.
I don't know is this true? We don't know. I mean, I guess it has to be.
That there are people who are.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah,
I sit around, we sit around and think like, do people think like we think about kids? Like, I mean, I think like crazy.
Well, that was like what I called my mom dramatic, and she thought I was crazy.
What?
Remember? I called her dramatic.
Mm-mm. Oh, yeah? What about that?
Yeah, she doesn't think she's dramatic. Well. And then I sat there and I was like, where...
Right. I mean,
where do you think I...
Well, that's just self-awareness, right? I guess.
That's what we're talking about, though. It's exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, but we're talking about self-awareness with the kid. Clearly,
I'm her kid. I'm dramatic. We know this about myself,
right,
I mean, like, everyone knows it. I'm more toned down now, but when I was younger, Jesus, I was, like, crazy dramatic. So she's looking at me while she's dramatic, looking at me be dramatic, not seeing that this is her.
Yeah. I mean, now, when they're kids, like, you have to understand that there is no other outside influence for the most part. I mean, especially with us, because Sol doesn't watch TV, right? No TVs, no movies, no nothing, right? So, like, anything she gets is coming from us directly. Or, like, some of her friends the little kids that she plays with, like, once or twice a week, which we know them and we know what they're doing and stuff. So everything that she does is from us. I don't know if it's a different scenario than most or whatever, but like.
No, man. This is a thing. Like it absolutely is, because this is just how we. This is the circle of life. This is what happens,
Mm.
And so to break that circle, you have to be able to become aware of these things so you can grow and then break that circle. Something that I know for myself that's really hitting me in the face was what I spoke to you before with Sol's temper. And not that I have a temper, because I don't think I have a temper.
No.
Yeah.
You get
not that I have a
riled
temper,
up,
but I get
every once in a
riled up
while.
every once in a while pretty quickly.
Usually it's
like,
about 5 days before period.
Right. Yes.
And by the way, I've marked that in the calendar now, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So usually it's around that time, or it's like if I can't find something, specifically like my keys, which has happened, and I've literally had to look all through the garbage can, wasn't in there. Like, I will go, and I won't go crazy on people, but I'm going crazy where I'm just like, where the fuck are my keys? Like,
nobody can talk to her.
And you just can't speak to me because now I'm in the zone, So I've always known that I was like that, but it really hit me more now seeing Sol, because Sol has no patience. And so she gets very upset when she tries to do something and she can't. And then she's like, and like throw it across the room. And I'm like, oh God, that is definitely not Joe. So that definitely has to be me.
But then you also get annoyed when I point things out. Then I'm the bad guy telling you.
Well, I don't mind if I points out. It's my shit. But you like to point things out all the time. Like every day you have something to say about me and Soul.
It's the same things. It's like the same like 3 fucking things that you just don't do anything about it.
Oh my God. Anything about it. I'm trying to,
Speaking of self-awareness,
I do things about it. The things that I don't, I purposely and consciously choose not to because I don't want
But
to.
here, I think that this is where I think a little bit more about kids than most people, right? Because I'll go into this level of like,
Why do you think that you're better than other people?
No, not get the fuck. No, differently. Just that because I question. I want to know if like I'm fucking.
You're not
nuts
the
for
only one
thinking-
having these questions.
Okay, so I think about how I eat and what I'm eating in front of her, and how that's going to affect her diet a year from now.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You think about that shit?
I don't, but I'm
Right.
sure that there are other people in this world that do. I think more, see, where you focus more about the food, I'm just focused more on like her like attitude, this, where I'm like, okay, like we got to work on this, da da da. That's the stuff that I'm focusing
But
on.
I think all those things stem from certain things, right? Like,
Well, they stem from lots of things, but it's not going to stem just from lettuce.
well,
or
mood
just
can
from
be
this.
mood can be altered
By
based
certain
on
types
of
food.
foods.
But
she
I'm
could
talking
be
about
irritable because she ate some shitty
But I'm
food.
talking about genetics right now. I'm talking about she has certain behaviors and things that she does because she's seen me do them and therefore is modeling me. That's what I'm talking about.
right.
Now,
Well, there's that. I'm talking about the
are there
deeper
things that
level.
can contribute to that? Yes, such as foods and etc.
Right.
But, I mean,
So what I try to do is you get to the source, you cut the head off early
but
on,
the food in
and
this
then everything
situation
else.
isn't the source. The food in this situation is actually like me, meaning so the age that she is today, meanwhile she's not even 2, so like we have a tremendous amount of molding that we can do here, right? So the age that she is right now, it really is up to me, meaning I now have to show her, right? Through just role modeling because she's too young, and also speaking to her that, I mean, in my language, that it's just like not that serious, right? That you can just like calm down and cope with this in like a way better way, right? And that's what I try and do. Today, when she got upset and she threw the freaking eggs off the damn table, right? Like a maniac, I was like, you need to stop, breathe, right? I talked about breathing through her nose, out through her mouth. I calm her down first because she gets so worked up that she struggles to bring herself down.
Right.
So these are the things I'm talking about. Food has nothing to do with this in this situation. Now, again, if she had depression or had a mood issue, then we would heavily be looking into foods a lot because then I'd be like, well, you can really help your mood issue right now by not contributing to it.
You don't think that you think that that's just like one day of eating shitty? That's like
No, it's ongoing.
Right. So when does that start? Now she could start
from when
eating
she-
shitty
yeah.
now, and then we have a depression issue 2 years from now. When cutting the head off would be now on that.
Yeah, but in order for her, I mean,
I'm not saying she eats like super shitty, but like she could eat better. Like she could get way more vegetables and stuff like that.
I guess for me, I'm not seeing it as being that powerful, and the reason why I'm not is because
you never ate that healthy. So I was like, yeah.
not even because So if you look at everyone in my family, and not just me, my dad, my sister, my mom, my whole family, okay, there is an astronomical amount of anxiety. There's bipolar, anxiety, there's depression, there's that, right? I'm sure there's some other shit going on there too, right? So there's a lot of that. Now, for the individuals who, let's say, like my cousins or whatever, if any one of them have stuff like that, or if their kids have stuff like that, I can then sit back and also kind of just focus on family history and be like, okay, so this makes sense to me genetically, you know? I'm not going to focus so much on food being the whole thing. Like I'm going to focus really on that and just focus on, okay, how can we restructure this? Now, let's say there was no family history of depression, no family history of bipolar, no family history of anxiety, no nothing, and yet our daughter ends out being depressed. I would have there'd be a lot of other factors to look into, obviously, right? Environment in terms of, okay, what's going on in the household, right? What's going on at school, okay? Those are huge things. What's going on with your friends?
Well, this is
Food,
this is
okay?
what I'm
What are
talking
you
about.
eating? Blah, 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 blah.
This is what I'm talking about with the responsibility of having kids. It's all of it. It's not just
Right. No, it's
one
everything.
of those
Right,
things.
it's everything.
So, except for vegetables. It's everything except for the food.
No. I think vegetables have I don't know which ones contribute, but I know that certain foods do contribute too.
I mean, I know right now, like yesterday I had some, and they were organic too. Organic chicken nuggets in the afternoon just because that's all we had, and I was like rushing.
So it was just
And
75% organic.
Yeah, who knows how many percentage of organic it was. But yeah, and I had a headache after that. So, and then that led me to being kind of irritable, sort of, and not into whatever the hell I was really doing, I guess. So, like, I just know from experience. But like a little kid, you wouldn't know because they're still developing, so they're always doing things differently
Always
or
doing
whatever.
things, yeah.
But if that's an actual fact, if you're eating too much sodium or too much sugar or whatever,
Yeah,
and
that'll
it
mess
does things, then if you start young, then it just becomes a thing, and you're just used to that child or whatever being that way, when in fact you could just cut back on sugar and they'd be a totally different person, you know?
Right,
Or at least
yeah.
more, maybe you could communicate with them better, because like I said yesterday, I was having a headache. If you were to try to have like some sort of conversation with me and whatever in that moment, like I wouldn't really absorb it all because I'm kind of still focusing on trying to get rid of the fucking headache or whatever. So I don't know if that's going on or could be going on, or
Right.
I feel like that's something that we have control of, that we could do on a daily basis. And at least that's not part of the layers of shit that we got to focus on anyway. You know, it's one thing down that it's like, all right, at least she's fucking eating organic everything or whatever.
So
Next.
So rule that out now.
Right.
You know, right.
That's where I'm at.
right.
That's it.
Ruling things out. Okay.
Yeah. This is another thing I feel like we could talk about for days, like just kids and how to raise them and what's...
I don't know how to raise kids. You and I don't know how to raise
No,
kids.
I
We're
don't
just
either.
raising them.
Well, yeah, that nobody knows, I don't think. You know, that's why we're all just fucking...
Raising them.
That's why
doing our
parenting
best.
is such a responsibility and stressful. Although there are probably books out there that talk about a lot of these things that I guess somebody could read. Like we read that one book about fucking sleep, and that shit was goddamn on point.
That worked.
She's been sleeping from 7 to 7 every night since
6 months.
she was like
6 months.
and that shit worked. So somebody wrote that shit down. So I'm sure there's a bunch of books and stuff.
So this
that
is what
people
I want to do.
talk
Going
about.
back to the PPS thing for a second.
Your made up
and
disease
the CSD.
disorder.
I actually want to start accumulating these disorders that I come up with, that we come up with,
So what do you
and
call it?
write them down.
Like cultural slang disorders or something? What do they call like those words that they're called what are there's like words like ain't and whatever that are...
yeah, there's a
they're
whole
called
dictionary.
something.
There's
It's called
the urban
urban
dictionary.
Yeah. Urban yeah.
And
Is
why does it
urban?
have to be called the urban dictionary?
I don't know, because it's like
That's racist.
street dictionary. So yeah, maybe we need like an urban dictionary for
disorders. I actually though have thought about this before in terms of like, and the reason why. Let me actually go deeper into the reason why, because there's a seriousness about this. This is not like meant to be funny. I feel as though disorders that we have out there, right, that are labeled disorders, that are in the DSM, that are in the book, that are in the diagnosing book, have very negative, right, I guess, meanings to them, right? So, God forbid, someone's diagnosed bipolar disorder, forget about, people suddenly think like, okay, they can't you know, they're all over the place, or like, oh my God, they're
Well, I've
doing
always
this,
said, yeah, I've always said this since I
it's
met
like-
you, like like labeling some of these
Labeling,
things don't
yeah.
really help sometimes.
No, not at all. Which is
They
why
kind of put you in this mental tunnel of like, well, I guess that's it, and there's no way out of this.
Well, there's a way. I feel like there's a way. I think that people label too quickly. I don't label really quickly when I'm working with someone. Like, unless it's anxiety. Anxiety is so easy to hear and see that I'm just like, you got that going on, you know? But like the other ones, I like to really take my time with, and not really slap a label. But the labels are slapped so quickly, and they have to be, unfortunately, and they have to be because, well, most likely you're coming in and you're coming in with your insurance. And in order for me to get paid, or anyone to get paid, they need a diagnosis. So that means that now I diagnosed you really within the first hour of meeting you because I have to.
Thanks, government and insurance companies.
Yeah, so if you guys didn't know that,
You're doing
that's
a
what's
great
happening.
job. Keep doing what you're
I
doing.
don't know if that was a secret to the clinical world, but I blew it. But that's just the reality of it, you know? So that's why anxiety is always the easiest one to see and hear, and so is like depression. But some of them are not so easy. Bipolar, you have to really be working with someone for at least 6 months straight, you know? Like straight, to really be able to, even for yourself, see and hear the drastic
So they
change.
need to go to therapy before they're diagnosed with that. And then once they're diagnosed, then what? What does that mean? Then they get like free insurance or something? Free health?
No, what are you talking about? They have to come to therapy before they're diagnosed.
So
They can be diagnosed already.
right. So all right. So what if they're not diagnosed? Right.
Then they go to therapy.
Then they go to therapy.
And in their first session, they're going to be like, well, you know, I have lots of mood instability, blah, blah, blah.
Right, so once they get
And
diagnosed,
the therapist is
then-
going to ask questions and stuff like that if we hear certain things, right? And we may hear bipolar, or we may hear something else. We'll ask those specific questions, right?
So once they get diagnosed, then what? I know. Sorry, I just kind of get slipped with the
Once they get
insurance
diagnosed,
and,
they get diagnosed.
And how does that relate to insurance companies?
Because we can't make a diagnosis, meaning we cannot file a claim and get paid for a patient without that diagnosis on the claim.
You get paid more because
No, we get paid for, and the claim has to involve the diagnosis, okay, and it has to involve the code that you used for that session.
But like, what if they're just somebody who's off the street that says, I think I need therapy, and then they go to the insurance company and they find a therapist and then they go, right? So what's the difference between that and then 6 months later finding out that they have bipolar?
Wait, what?
There's no different, like what, I don't understand what you're saying. Like, who cares? Your insurance company is already paying for the health insurance, for the therapy.
With a diagnosis, which means
Well,
that...
no. What about without a diagnosis?
No, this is what I'm telling you.
If I could go to a therapist right now.
No, Joe, oh, I'm sorry.
I don't have a diagnosis.
I think you're not hearing what I'm saying. Anyone can come to me or any therapist without a diagnosis.
Right.
I can't get paid for the service that I did for you from the insurance company unless I write the diagnosis down, which means that I have to diagnose anyone who comes into my office
everybody
within that 60-minute time.
And you have to diagnose them with something, whether it's
Something.
anxiety
Something.
or bipolar.
Something.
You can't just be like, well, there's
Nope.
something going on here,
Nope.
but we'll see.
No, something.
Ah, okay. Well, that was the long, drawn-out version
Well,
of
I
that.
don't understand
and
why-
I'm glad.
Oh my
Maybe there were
God.
people out there that were thinking the same thing I thought. I mean, I don't know. We're not in your world.
God, no.
Like, I'm like, yeah, anybody can go to therapy. But apparently, just know that once you go, you're going to walk out of that first session with some sort of diagnosis.
With some
unless that
diagnosis.
therapist doesn't want to get paid.
Right, with some diagnosis. But also, I mean, I don't know. I guess you kind of just trust, you end up having to trust that the person knows what they're doing, right? So I know which codes to use, right, to diagnose someone that are like, like fucking like 90% of people who walk into an office have some kind of anxiety.
Right.
So anxiety is like that's like my go-to,
Yeah.
Like I'm not doing a bipolar, to be honest, unless I've worked with you for a long amount of time and now I'm seeing it, you know, like I'm
Oh,
like
so
really,
so you'll
so I can add.
So you'll all right, yeah. So you'll have
Yeah.
an hour-long
I can-
session. You'll give them the anxiety
just
one
to
at
like
first,
right,
just to keep it going.
Yeah, let's get it, you know.
And then yeah.
And then obviously as we move on, I can add things, but like the more intense, you know, diagnoses, I guess, you know, that people call them the more intense ones. Those are the ones that I'll wait some time on.
Yeah.
But this was going back to slapping the label. So the reason why I want to create this new, let's say, DSM thing, is to create disorders that are just more, I think, like, what's the word I'm looking for? So if I hear, okay, so if someone's like, you have Peter Pan syndrome.
I clearly just laugh first.
Right? I'd be like, oh my God.
Thanks.
Oh my God. But so actually,
I'm happy
great
and
example.
fun.
Wait, great example. Okay, so I've done this before in a session. So there have been moments in sessions where I've literally like been so serious and I've been like, oh my gosh. So I know what's going on with you right now. And they're like, what? And I'm like, you have PPS. And they're like, what do I have? And I'm like, you have PPS. And then they're like, what's that? And I'm like, it's Peter Pan syndrome. Now, the minute I say that, they're like, oh, okay, right? like, okay, you know, like it's not that bad, right? Like it's Peter Pan syndrome, you know?
Yeah, what can
and
be
then I
bad about
explain it,
that?
and I'm just like, yeah, look at Peter Pan, right? Peter Pan never wanted to grow up. Peter Pan always wanted to be in this immature state because being young means no responsibility and having fun and da-da-da-da. That's you. Okay, you know, like cool. Versus some like fucking technical, clinical word for it, and now it's like, what the fuck?
Then it becomes a very serious thing.
CSD, cultural stimuli disorder.
Yeah,
whole world's got
I'll let
that.
you use that one.
The whole world's got that.
Yeah, too bad you can't use that as a label for the insurance companies.
Well, no, but I'm going to use it in my damn sessions. I use these things in my sessions because for some
That's
people,
pretty cool, though.
Because for some
works, yeah.
people, it hits differently.
So they kind of know, like it's a kind of a joke
they know
too.
I'm fucking around, but
Yeah,
they
yeah.
also know they're also like, okay, and then they hear me more.
Yeah.
Once I kind of break that ice, and it's like, okay, you know. So I actually have been wanting to make a book like that of just a whole bunch of like.
Okay. Yeah. That'd be cool. I'll help with that. I got all kinds of acronyms. Is that what you call them?
Yeah, but you know they have to make sense clinically, also. You know.
Yeah. But cultural stimulus disorder?
CSD.
And you'd be like, do you watch a lot of TV? Do you play a lot of video games?
Yeah, like right. So in a session, I'd be like, right, like they'd be like, well, you know, I like to play video games, and I'd be like, okay, well, how often do you play? Like, how many hours in a day? And I'll be like 12. I'll be like, okay. So what do you do after? I just like look at my phone and just like go on Instagram, and then I just like fall asleep to YouTube.
And you get the sense that they're kind of depressed a little bit when they're not
I fall
doing
asleep
these
to
things.
YouTube. This is like true stories. Fall asleep to YouTube and and I'm like, okay. And this is happening every day. So do you have any friends?
Yeah.
I mean, I have like, you know, like one or two. I don't really hang out much. I mean, here and there. It's like, okay, you know. And then I could be like, right. So rather than me say that you have like anxiety, you know, or something else, I could just be like, you have CSD, which is like, hello, the whole world's got that.
And then
Not a
after
big deal.
that, it's kind of like a joke, but then you can go into
Into
what,
the whole, yeah.
well, dopamine is being,
Yeah.
Yep. And then you're going into this depressive state because your body is trying to get
Yep.
into this balance.
How do I, what's that thing called where no one else can take my idea?
Oh, copyright, patent.
Copywriting that.
Well, you just did. We documented it.
Oh, okay, great. Yes.
It's out there
Bitch.
forever.
There we go. That's my idea.
Data
Tune
stamped.
Tune into that book.
Done.
It's actually been pretty cool. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. You know, I wish there was more exciting stuff to talk about. I just,
I think we're good to go.
yeah, I'm okay with it.
I feel great. It was a great pod.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like there's other things, but I'm just like...
There's
draw a
always other
blank
things,
and-
but it's
yeah.
Sunday and it's kind of cold outside and it's just like whatever because we live in Rhode Island now. But yeah. Oh, also, guys. So before we end, I want to extend the T-shirt
You want to extend it?
for just another week.
Why?
To maybe see if anybody else really wants to we got 2 people do it, which is really great. But let's see if there's more people that actually would like to participate. The T-shirt's amazing. The company's amazing, right? Mad Love by Design. The T-shirt can be, it's the Live Your Truth T-shirt. So if you listen to the podcast that we had prior to this one, last Sunday's podcast, called Mad Love, it'll all make sense to you. But so I think we're gonna extend the T-shirt raffle thing or whatever for a week. And what that is that go on to the post at Convenient Truth site on Instagram. That's under Bad Love.
No, it's under
Live Your Truth.
Live Your Truth, but there's 2 Live Your Truths. It's the last one.
Yeah, so it's the most recent Live Your Truth post that we did. That's the post where you can win a T-shirt on us from the company Mad Love by Design. And all you have to do, it's super, super easy, is just, comment on what Live Your Truth means to you, or how maybe you feel you're living your truth. That's it. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then tag 5 people.
5
people particularly that you might think would be interested in listening to the podcast.
Right. Okay. Because we really want to do this. So let's get some more people to participate, and hopefully we do. And then next Sunday, then we will say who won.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for being here with us today.
Yes. And that was a whole podcast on live, by the way.
Ooh.
So we will... Oh, yeah, you didn't do that shit
No, I didn't do it in the beginning, so I have to do it now.
Yeah, so we will post this and the podcast as well in the next couple days. I
was trying to hold it.
I'll edit it out.
Okay. Well, they're gonna see it.
Yeah. There's nobody on.
Whatever. Bye, guys.
All right. Love you guys. Bye.